These are Family Guy's Christmas episodes ranked from worst to best. Starting at the time Kevin James came to live with the Griffins before fading from existence in season 22's episode, The Return of the King of Queens. So Peter plans to sit down and watch a Christmas movie, but there's just one problem.
The TV's gone, we're cutting the cord. We need money for Christmas gifts, so I sold it.
Couldn't you have just sold something a little less useful, like Meg?
We don't need a TV in the golden age of streaming.
Okay, do any of you watching this know anyone who doesn't own a TV and just watches everything on their phone or tablet? Sounds like genuine psychotic behavior. Even Peter's friends try to convince them streaming is the way to go over network TV.
Name one good show on streaming. Mayor of Easttown. Fargo. True Detective.
Dang, those are all good. I kinda get why Peter's pulling for network TV though. Almost like a certain someone show currently depends on it. But Peter decides to give streaming a try, though this sparks a visit from the star of one of Peter's favorite shows.
Kevin James? In network TV, if someone shows up at your door, you have to take care of them. It's the pilot of most shows.
Oh, really? Name 50.
Never ask a Family Guy character to list something because they will do it.
Name 20.
Rosanna, Roxanne, Michelle, Allison, Sarah, Angie, Brandy, Mandy, Gloria, Cecilia.
And you better believe that Peter does too.
Oh, yeah? Name 50 more.
Nope, moving on.
But everything I had was because people knew me from network TV, and now that's over.
Really? I've always known him as Adam Sandler's third funniest friend.
I'll show him how to be a real guy and not just a sitcom real guy, and then he'll be on his way.
So Peter shows him how to do real guy stuff, like paying his bills. But Kevin seems to learn a lot, getting a job with UPS and even a girlfriend.
I owe you, Peter. Put it there.
Ah! What happened to your hand?
Maybe Kevin James was never real at all. Nah, not really. It's actually pretty simple.
Kevin is fading away because streaming has made him irrelevant.
In this case, laughter is the best medicine, so Kevin will need some unanimous crowd laughter to save himself. And nothing's funnier than the story of baby Jesus.
The conception may be immaculate, but the diaper sure isn't.
Peter tries his best to win over the crowd, but you know what's always funny? Bodily harm. And in some weird roundabout way, Peter convinces the town how much they need network TV. Wasn't this supposed to be a Christmas episode? Look, I like how this episode pokes fun at sitcom cliches and the need for easy-to-digest shows, but this did not need to be a Christmas episode. The spirit of the season's hardly there, and some jokes either fall flat or just drag on too long. This could have been set on Arbor Day and it probably would have the same effect. But we get more of the holiday feeling when Stewie tries to get off the naughty list after vaporizing Meg and Peter accidentally gives away Lois's favorite brooch in the newest episode of 2024, Gift of the White Guy. So Stewie's hard at work writing up his letter to Santa.
I demand the blouse Timothy Chalamet is wearing in this photo.
But Brian questions whether or not Stewie's made it onto the nice list this year. I mean, he hasn't tried to kill Lois in a while, but he's still done plenty of bad.
I'm sorry, Stewie, but it's looking like you're on the naughty list.
You'd know, Brian. I'm pretty positive you're a permanent resident there. Meanwhile, Peter's Brewery is organizing a company-wide White Elephant, a Christmas game designed to give at least one person a terrible gift that someone just found in their car at the last minute.
Everyone must participate, and candidly, your evaluation for the year largely hinges on it.
Man, imagine getting fired because you weren't expressing the right amount of holiday cheer. What is this, communist North Pole? So in order to make it on the nice list, Stewie decides to get rid of his entire weapons cache. Their local Goodwill is about to have a field day.
This is the end of evil, Stewie, Bry.
But while he does that, Peter's scrambling to find a last-minute White Elephant gift.
Tiny cardboard box? That's perfect. There's something inside, even better.
Sure you don't want one of Stewie's weapons? Nothing goes hand in hand like a workplace and a firearm. At the party, it's Peter's boss who ends up with a brooch, only for Peter to get a very ill-timed text.
No matter what the next item is, you gotta get Lois's brooch back, no matter what.
But who needs that when you can have a cameo from Jeff Goldblum? Masterful choice, Peter.
Peter, I still haven't found my special Christmas tree brooch.
Apparently this thing is so special that it kinda saved Lois from pneumonia when she was little.
My mother pinned a Christmas tree brooch on my nightgown and I felt my lungs strengthen with each breath I took.
Why didn't you tell us this thing had magical powers? Surely then Peter would... Nah, who are we kidding? He still would have given it away. And when they attend Peter's boss's Christmas party, he sees the brooch pinned to his boss's mother.
What a beautiful brooch. You think I could see it for a moment and walk out of the room with it?
It's one thing to steal from your boss, but your boss's mother? Peter's about to experience levels of fired never before seen. While he figures that out, Stewie's spot on the nice list is put in jeopardy when Meg finds one of his old weapons.
My vaporizer! Meg, give that to me!
But there's a rule for any fight scene over a weapon. Someone has to get accidentally shot with it.
Oh no, Meg! No!
Oh, he is definitely on the naughty list this time. Oh, and Meg's dead. Oh no, how sad. Things go a bit better for Peter, who sneaks into Mrs. Lloyd's room and steals the brooch right off her shirt. Like taking hard candy from a very old baby. Back at home, Stewie finds himself actually missing Meg.
Santa, please! My only wish is for Meg to be returned safely. I don't need anything else this year.
I imagine it's kinda hard to return from being a pile of ash, but we'll see what Santa can whip up. And wouldn't you know it, under the tree the next morning is Meg, hog-tied and alive.
Meg, you're back?
Yeah, I don't know what happened last night, but I had a pretty crazy dream.
Man, Santa really is a miracle worker.
Are her legs on backwards?
Close enough. And Peter manages to make Lois's day by returning her missing brooch.
Where did you find this?
I could lie, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Under the couch pillow!
Yeah, she's not buying it.
I gave it away at a white elephant at work, and my boss gave it to his elderly mother, and I snuck into a nursing home with the guys to steal it back.
Yeah, that's more believable. But they've run out of episode time for her to be mad. Actually, Lois thinks Mrs. Lloyd could use the power of the brooch more than her.
Well, I gotta say, it feels pretty good doing something nice for a sweet old woman on Christmas.
Yep, just as long as you don't turn around. Truthfully, this episode was just okay. The brooch plot doesn't go anywhere all that interesting until the very end, while Stewie's side plot of going good could have easily been the central story to follow. At least there is some Christmas spirit to it, which is more than I can say for the previous episode. But Stewie's actually got a family member back from the dead before, when he went back in time to save Brian from dying in Season 12's Christmas Guy. So the family's getting ready for the Christmas carnival.
It's Stewie's first Christmas.
Again?
Yeah, don't think about it, just keep smiling and nodding. But when they get to the mall, they find it to be lacking in both Christmas and carnival vibes.
And what the hell? Where's all the decorations? And the big Christmas tree?
Maybe the Christmas carnival was never real. Maybe the real Christmas carnival was the friends we made along the way. Well, that sucks. But don't worry, because Vinny's on the case. Remember Vinny? It's okay if you don't.
The carnival was canceled by the mall's owner, some guy named Carter Pewterschmidt.
If there's ever a lack of fun or enjoyment, it's probably because of Carter. That guy sucks the fun out of everything like a vampire sucks blood. So Peter tries to get Carter in the Christmas mood.
The best way to get the Christmas spirit is to drink a whole lot of thick, frothy eggnog. Say thank you with a nog in your mouth. Thank you. Louder. Thank you.
And suddenly I feel like this is gonna get age restricted. Nothing seems to work. Christmas must just not be in Carter's DNA.
Wow, Carter. I had no idea you were Jewish.
Please tell me this isn't what's gonna turn him, yep it is. And so the carnival's back, but Stewie still seems upset.
I thought having the carnival back would make me happy, but it still feels like something's missing.
Yeah, something short, white-furred, alcoholic, thinks it's smarter than everyone else, got run over 2 episodes ago. Can't think of what that's called.
I don't care about this stupid carnival or Christmas. I don't care about anything except Brian.
Yeah, that's a little outside Santa's wheelhouse. You might want to hit up Death Slap instead. So Vinny tries to take Stewie's mind off his dead best friend with a trip to the toy store.
It's me from the past. Several months ago, I time-traveled ahead to purchase that Christmas toy.
And that means Stewie has access to a time machine again, but they just need a distraction. Luckily, Vinny knows Stewie pretty well by now.
You ever do any modeling?
Well, not professionally, but I have thought about it.
Don't say Vinny never knew nothing about Stewie. He's clocked that kid to a T. Asking a 1-year-old that kind of question will get you on a whole other kind of list, Vinny.
Now, all I've got to do is set the coordinates to the moment before Brian got killed, and I can save him!
There's just one catch. If Stewie does that, he and Vinny will have never met. And I was just warming up to the little Italian stereotype.
So, I think this is goodbye.
We'll miss you, Vinny. Thanks for 3 episodes of passable mediocrity.
Good dog, Vinny. Good dog.
And so Stewie makes good on his mission and saves Brian from certain death. But now this Stewie technically doesn't exist anymore.
The timeline where you died no longer exists. Merry Christmas, Brian.
It's like July at the point he died, but sure, get your Merry Christmas in early, I guess.
Hey, who are you talking to out here?
A pretty awesome guy.
So this one was just kind of alright. The first plot falls a bit flat, but at least it was pretty heartwarming to see Stewie get Brian back. Even though his death only lasted a few episodes as a shallow marketing ploy to drum up attention and emotion. But isn't that what Christmas is all about anyway? But Christmas is also about Jesus, and Peter tells his version of the story of the biblical birth, which included spaceships, in Season 11's episode Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So the Griffins are decorating their Christmas tree, and Meg expresses wonder about the birth of Jesus.
It's the story of Christmas and the Immaculate Conception.
Joseph, this is the most fun I've had in a while.
That's good. That's good. Pull your pants down.
Look, it was a different time. That's just how you let a girl know you liked her. It was like setting a D-pic of the AC era.
But I have have to save myself.
For who? There's only 30 people in the whole world.
Look, you can't blame a girl for waiting on her angel, though in Mary's case, there's an actual angel.
I's been sent to bring you the message that tonight you's gonna be getting pregnant with the Son of God.
Dang, pregnancy tests were so good back then, you're finding out you're pregnant before you got pregnant. So the couple makes their way across the desert to Bethlehem, and meanwhile, 3 wise men are about to do the same.
Hey, you guys, this says a king of kings will be born in Bethlehem, and we are to go and pay tribute.
Oh yeah, I've gotten that spam carrier pigeon too. Should've known something was up when the King of Kings needed the last 4 digits of my credit card number. As the 3 make their way across the desert, they stop by King Herod's palace for water. But Herod is feeling the threat of no longer being the head king in charge.
I should probably kill that baby.
Meanwhile, Joseph and Mary arrive in Bethlehem looking for a place to stay.
But sir, please, my wife is with child and about to give birth.
You'd think being the mother of the Messiah would have more perks. I knew they should have booked online ahead of time.
Joseph, my water just broke. It's time.
Oh my God!
With nowhere else to go, the couple shacks up in a stable out back. I hope one of those animals has delivered a baby before.
What should we name him?
Well, this is kind of like a barn. We could call him Barney.
Not to be dramatic, but I think you'll have a hard time getting people to view you as God if you're named after a purple dinosaur. Luckily, the 3 wise men show up just in time for the show.
And BC turns to AD.
But uh-oh, that self-conscious king has come to kill the Christ child, so Jesus gets in his spaceship and fights them off. So this one was pretty par for the course when it comes to Family Guy's parody episodes. It's got some good jokes in there, but overall it's not the most creative or surprising. Still, there's a lesson to be learned about kindness to others because you never know who might be carrying the next Messiah. Or, just be kind to people whether or not they're about to birth a god. But we aren't done with Jesus yet, as Peter once attempted to help him lose his V-card with Lois in the season 13 episode, The 2,000-Year-Old Virgin. So while out doing some Christmas shopping, Peter and Lois run into their old pal Jesus. Last time we saw him, he was crashing out and blowing off Peter after he became a celebrity.
I wasn't sure you'd want to hear from me.
Oh, that's silly. We could never stay mad at you.
Probably because if they did, they'd never get invited over to his dad's sweet kingdom of heaven.
Listen, Peter, we should catch up. Why don't you come over to my place for a beer or something?
But when Peter comes over, he finds that Jesus is kind of bumming it here on Earth.
How come you aren't with your family during Christmas anyway?
I can't deal with my family during the holidays.
It must suck to have your birthday on a holiday, especially a holiday meant to be celebrating you and not some red, chubby home intruder.
Hey, you know what? I am throwing you the best birthday party ever.
But when the guys sit down to discuss plans, it becomes clear what the intention of the party should be.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah, I am.
Alright, well I'm gonna have to hold back on calling the savior of humanity a huge nerd. Not even a pity blink after dying and all that?
Jesus, we are gonna help you lose your virginity.
So they first try out speed dating, but they probably should have taught him how to talk to modern women first.
So, are you having a good Friday?
Oh, is that supposed to be funny? Shut your mouth, bitch.
Okay, so that didn't work. Maybe Jesus requires more of a woman's touch. Giggity. Both a literal giggity and metaphorical giggity.
I think it's time I had a little talk with him so he knows what a woman really wants.
So Lois gives Jesus a little pep talk on talking to women.
Well, you're easy to talk to. I just get all tongue-tied with other girls.
Yeah, if only they could find a woman for him like Lois. Someone who acts like her, talks like her, looks like her, and has a familiar relationship with Jesus the way she does. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Actually, Peter, I want my first time to be with Lois.
And like most guys being told they want to sleep with his wife, Peter doesn't take it too well. But maybe there's something Peter could want in return.
Brookstone massage chair.
Really? Are you sure?
You may find it weird he picked that out of anything in the universe, but have you ever sat in one of those things? They'll change your life. But now, Lois just needs to be convinced.
I guess it is kind of an honor that out of all the people in the world, Jesus chose me.
Believe me, we're just as shocked as you are. So Jesus swings by to pick up his date. Kind of feels like prom, but a prom that ultimately ends in adultery. Peter gets to enjoy his vibrating pushover chair at the bar, but quickly comes to realize the gravity of what's happening.
Guys, I think I might have made a terrible mistake with this whole Lois and Jesus thing.
I think anyone of any religion could have told you that, Pete.
Listen, pal, Jesus ain't no virgin. He did the same thing to me last Christmas.
Yeah, so it turns out Jesus has done this to a lot of people's wives. That son of a god. So Peter rushes to the hotel to stop the deal.
I think I had like a Christmas miracle. I realized I don't want other people humping my wife for a chair.
And it was a really good chair, too. This was not the easiest decision, but luckily Lois couldn't go through with it. Could this have all been a part of Jesus' master plan? Like when God ordered Abraham to kill his son, but then said JK?
Bravo, Peter. Lois, Seems like you folks learned the lesson I intended.
He is one sneaky messiah. Though this didn't feel too much like a Christmas episode, it's saved by just being funny and very over the top. Jesus is always a welcome surprise, even if his inclusion and characterization may make a few people mad. But the Christmas spirit is truly found when Patrick Swayze takes Peter on a holiday journey before he ends up dead in season 16's Don't Be a Dickens at Christmas. So while the family's getting ready for Christmas, Brian reveals a very thoughtful present to them all.
So I've signed all of us up to volunteer tomorrow at a homeless shelter.
Oh, how nice and not performative of you, Brian.
I think that's actually a wonderful idea, Brian.
When he finally makes it home, Lois informs him of the good deed they'll be doing tomorrow.
Peter, it's a holiday of giving back.
Yeah, but bums?
He'd love to help them, just in a way where he doesn't have to look at them, touch them, or even have the thought of them slip into his brain. Fed up with his attitude, Lois decides to take the kids to her parents. So Peter spends the night getting drunk and watching a Patrick Swayze movie. He nods off, and either the house is about to catch fire or he's about to encounter a Christmas spirit.
Patrick Swayze? How is that even possible? You're dead!
Yeah, but he was in the movie Ghost. That's it. There's your explanation. Accept it and be happy with it.
I've come back to help you recapture the true spirit of Christmas.
So Swayze takes him back into the past to try to find the spark of the holiday for him.
Oh, wow. This is my old house from when I was a little kid. See, look how happy I was. That's the Christmas spirit. I haven't felt that in years.
Judging by how his younger self is eating that whole plate of cookies at 7 a.m., I'm surprised he can feel anything from the neck down. Next, Patrick shows Peter what a good time his family's having without him there.
More champagne, miss?
Miss? Oh my. It's been a long time since anybody's called me Miss.
Welp, looks like Lois has found her stocking stuffer for the year.
You're very funny, Lance. You're a very handsome, funny man. Now let's see that miss.
And for the final stop, a trip into the future where Peter's no longer with us.
Boy, I love the holiday season with my husband who's right upstairs, just out of frame.
And color me surprised, it's Lance. So with Peter dead, Lois remarries, the kids seem to do all right, and Brian sleeps at the foot of Peter's grave. At least someone cares.
Why didn't someone in my family save me?
They went to Newport because you wanted to be by yourself, remember?
And now Peter suffers an eternity with something worse than hell.
That's what happens when you lose your Christmas spirit. You spend all of eternity as a dog fart.
So unless Peter wants to spend eternity in Brian's butt, he's gonna have to change his ways.
This Christmas is perfect, isn't it, Mom?
Almost, Meg. Almost.
But thankfully, Peter shows up just in time with a sack full of crap from a CVS. And to celebrate his newfound joy, he shares a hot dance with Patrick Swayze. Okay, so his new Christmas spirit may have come from some kind of head injury, but at least Christmas is saved. This loose retelling of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol isn't all that creative or as emotional as some of the other episodes, but it does deliver some decent time-traveling fun as Peter learns to love the holidays again. But Peter loves the holiday too much when he abuses his powers as a mall Santa and forces the real Santa to intervene in season 15's episode How the Griffin Stole Christmas. So Stewie finds Brian dressed up for the office Christmas party, which is weird because usually you have to have a job to go to those.
All right, look, I've been crashing office Christmas parties for the free booze and drunk women who don't want to spend the holidays alone.
That's Brian, spreading holiday cheer one drunken mistake at a time. Meanwhile, Peter and Chris go to the mall to see Santa, but it looks like he's MIA.
The seasonal Santa we hired has a drinking problem, and I don't know where to find a replacement.
Do you not see the big ball of man standing right in front of you?
Would you mind putting on the suit and playing Santa, just until the shift ends? I'd pay you for your time.
Next to belligerent alcoholic, it's the role he was born to play. Elsewhere, Stewie decides to crash Brian's party crashing, and Peter finds himself getting free stuff while dressed as Santa.
Oh, come on, I'm not charging Santa Claus, it's on the house.
He knows that's not the real Santa, right? Like, he's not gonna smite you if you're not nice to him. The real Santa would, though.
You wear this suit, it's like a free pass. People let you do anything you want.
I mean, we do let the real Santa just waltz into our houses and eat our cookies. There must be something to that suit. While attending a boring office party, Stewie decides to stir up some drama to get the party going.
40% of you will be laid off as of Monday.
This impresses the office boss so much that he actually offers Stewie a job.
We could use someone like you around here. Welcome aboard. See you Monday.
And because Peter keeps misusing his Santa privileges, he gets a visit from the big man himself.
I'm not very happy with you. You can't go around in that suit pretending you're me and acting like a complete jackass.
Yeah, take that crap over the Easter Bunny. He's just happy to get the publicity. So Santa's revenge commences, first by tricking Joe into taking Peter on a Build-A-Bear date, followed by dropping a reindeer on his house.
You know, I think this year is gonna be the best.
Dang, Santa really doesn't kringle around. But nothing really gets the point across like a good old-fashioned St. Nick smackdown.
Whose suit are you wearing? Your suit!
Yeah, Santa's old school. Sometimes the only way to fix a naughty child is with a belt. Is what I would say if I were a maniac like him.
Thank you. I've always known you were a good boy deep inside, Peter.
Because nothing puts the fear of Santa in the hearts of men like leaving them on the sidewalk without their clothes. I definitely would have loved to see a chicken-style fight between Peter and Santa, but it's still satisfying to see Peter get called out on his ego and taken down a peg. And mall Santas are a topic once again as Meg searched high and low for the Santa that gave her her first womanly experience in Season 18's Christmas is Coming. So everyone seems to be excited for Christmas except for Meg.
It's always disappointing. Just a reminder of how truly lonely I am.
Hey, Seamus, my man!
Sorry, Meg, Quagmire has to make time for his best friend Seamus. Those two are inseparable. But she's still a good sport and takes Stewie to meet Santa at the mall.
Is it okay if I just hold him for the picture?
Ho, ho, ho! Of course. Sit right here, young lady.
So Meg shows him he shouldn't fear Santa, but Santa seems to show her a good time. Too good of a time, actually.
And he makes everyone feel so...
And judging by that smile, it seems like the halls have been decked, the Christmas tree has been rocked around, and Santa has certainly come to town. And so that little epiphany has Meg fantasizing about the man in red.
Are you ready for me, Meg?
She might be, but I'm not. Give me a second while I get my eye bleach.
Are you ready to get up?
Huh?
I said it's time to get out.
But Meg's excited to share her new crush with Lois.
It all happened so quick, but I really feel something. Am I crazy?
Oh, you would feel differently if you witnessed the horrors that Stewie saw.
You didn't see the things I saw.
Seeing that little moment was like Stewie's Vietnam. So Brian tries to describe what happened in a way babies can understand.
Santa made her Little Mermaid Moana.
Oh.
Exactly.
Feel better now? Yeah, I didn't think so. But Stewie isn't free yet as Meg takes him to the mall again so she can ride Santa's sleigh if you smell what I'm stepping in.
Huh. Something's different. Were you the Santa at this mall yesterday?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I guess no lobotomy for Christmas this year, but there's always next year. So Meg tries another mall and another Santa, but these knee bounces just aren't roasting her chestnuts like last time.
This isn't working. Were you at the Quahog Mall last night?
No, last night I was weeping outside my ex-wife's apartment.
Ah, a man of culture. That's one of my favorite Christmas activities too.
Well, where is he? Where's my Santa?
I don't know!
I need to find him!
So Meg bounces around every pun-named mall to bounce on every Santa knee, but just can't find her man. But when she reaches her last stop, she's approached by a shadowy man in the parking lot. But don't worry, this is like the one time where that's actually a good thing.
Santa?
Yes, Meg. It's me, Santa.
But Meg learns this isn't just any old mall Santa.
You know, the same feeling you got when you were 5 and I gave you that Malibu Barbie?
How did you know that?
Well, he's either a lifelong stalker or he's the real deal Santa. Actually, those two things are pretty much the same, aren't they?
You see, I know what each and every person needs for Christmas. For you, it was your first time seeing Jimmy Connors.
Santa, I wouldn't admit you riled her up enough to see that. You're gonna have the FBI knocking at your workshop door if you're not careful. This was a weird but fun one, giving Meg the holiday spotlight for a change that gives her just what she wants for Christmas. It's an uncomfortable and scarring moment for everyone else, but at least she's happy. But for Brian, it takes being thrown in jail after destroying a nativity scene to realize how happy the holidays are in the season 20 episode Christmas Crime. So Brian's being the resident Ebenezer Pooch about the holidays when Stewie talks about the toy he wants.
You're crassly manifesting the very consumerism on which Christmas is built?
Brian, I'm not convinced you didn't just Google some of those words a second ago to sound smart. And when the family attends the town's tree lighting ceremony, Brian has to moan and complain about the nativity scene. You know, that thing the holiday is kinda based around.
A religious display on government property. Can't believe this is what my tax dollars are paying for.
So while Brian drinks himself into a holly jolly coma, the guys decide to mess with him a bit.
Do not even get me started on Christmas caroling. No, go ahead, I'm listening.
I actually think that's all he had to say on Christmas caroling.
I mean, first, there's the singing. You know what? Screw you guys.
So Brian dashes home with visions of sugar plum vodka dancing in his head, only to crash and burn into the nativity scene. Hating Christmas is one thing, but killing baby Jesus? He was just a little wooden child, man.
I've just gotta hide the evidence.
Which involves stuffing it in his car and parking it at the airport. Nothing seems less suspicious than having your name be on the coffin of your victim, right? But it's good, it's all chill, just act natural and no one will suspect a thing.
That's rather odd. Who would steal a nativity scene? Yes, it was me. I destroyed the nativity scene with my car. But you've gotta keep your mouth shut about this.
But when the culprit remains unfound, Mayor West makes a difficult decision.
So until I get some answers, As mayor, I'm officially canceling Christmas in Quahog.
Can he really do that? You'll have to pry this eggnog from my cold, dead hands, you unfestive dictator.
Sorry, Peter, I'm on strict orders from the mayor to confiscate all the Christmas stuff in town.
Brian, is there anything you want to say about the baby Jesus-shaped dent in the hood of your car?
Maybe that's just some unrelated baby he hit. But yeah, there's no way out of this one.
I'm afraid I have to take you to jail.
So Brian will be spending the holiday locked away. It's not so bad. Brian finally has himself a bed. Just gotta ignore the smell of that guy who got shanked on the sheets.
At least it keeps me away from all the phony joy and crass commercialism.
It also keeps you from stinking up the holiday for the rest of them, which is the real silver lining here. But come Christmas morning, even Brian can't help but feel left out.
Stupid families having stupid fun times together.
That includes your family, Brian, who can actually enjoy the holiday without your stick-in-the-mud attitude. And when he realizes that, he learns the true meaning of Christmas from a bad word scratched on the ceiling. Mayor West feels the same, so he lets Brian go, but not after Brian returns the favor.
Huh? It's like he killed him all over again.
So raging wet blanket Brian learns that while Christmas is about rampant consumerism, there's still a togetherness that makes the holiday worth celebrating. Try as he might, even Brian's bad attitude isn't enough to ruin the holiday. But Lois tries her hand at that when she abandons the family for the holidays, only to turn into the Grinch and ruin it when she sees them having fun in season 19's The First Noel.
This year, I want you all to help with the Christmas chores.
Well, this is really gonna cut into the family's favorite Christmas activity of watching Lois do everything.
And I also have another request. I'd like to finally get a present from the heart this year.
Well, where else have they been getting them? Their stomachs? Their colon? Oh, they've probably been pulling them from where the sun doesn't shine, right? But after an entire day of shopping, the family returns empty-handed. Genuinely infuriating, but genuinely impressive.
Peter, where's the Christmas tree? We don't even have a tree!
Don't you worry, Lois, he's got it under control. Later that evening, he returns like a hero with a beautiful tree, saving Christmas, and oh, he fell asleep in the car.
Peter Griffin, what the hell is going on here?
What?
And that's the straw that broke the reindeer's back.
I've had it. Every year, my cousin asked me to come to Cabo for Christmas. Well, this year, I'm going.
I hear Cabo's beautiful this time of year for all those family haters out there. But Lois actually hasn't left. Instead, she rents a motel room with a perfect view of the house. Now that's some grade A hater moves.
Watching the family fall apart without me is better than Cabo.
Spoken like a true, totally sane woman. Back at home, the holiday stress is already getting to Peter.
She usually hangs up these stupid Christmas lights and these stupid Christmas wreaths.
Oh hey, that actually looks pretty good. Blind, middle-aged rage is good for something after all. After that, the family seems to get along fine. So fine that it actually warrants a breaking news bulletin.
This just in, husband does what wife normally does, comma, makes headlines.
The holidays actually seem super chill when you don't have a nasally redhead in your ear the whole time. But Lois doesn't like this. No, she doesn't like it one bit.
I must put an end to this whole thing. I must stop Christmas.
And so Lois Grinchfin, I tried my best, please clap, sneaks into the house ready to steal Christmas.
Who left all these dirty dishes out?
Okay, now she can...
I'm not even gonna think about the grocery situation.
Okay, now... Okay.
Oh, you see? I know it. I know it.
Will you get to the stealing already? When Christmas morning comes, the Griffins find the house stripped bare of its holiday cheer.
Merry Christmas, everybody! Hey, what happened?
Peter, I think we've been robbed.
At least they left the sound system. That's probably the most expensive thing in the house. And look who comes slithering back, acting like they have no clue what happened.
Robbed? On Christmas? Oh my god!
This would have never happened if Lois was here, right? She totally could have killed those robbers and turned their guts into wreaths. I guess we'll never know, though.
We realized there was one present we still had.
There is?
Yeah, Mom. Yours.
And with it comes a little note.
Thanks for making every Christmas so memorable. We love you so much, Mom.
God, they're really gonna make me tear up for the woman who ruined her family's holiday out of spite. And the gift is the ugliest misshapen half-baked pottery bowl I've ever seen. It's perfect.
Lois's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Which nearly kills her. I guess having too good of a holiday is bad for your health. So really, Lois should be thanking her family for not pulling their weight. This episode is kinda darkly funny, showing how the family has the best Christmas ever without her, which kind of justifies her anger. Ignoring how depressing that is, it's always a pleasure to see Lois slip off the deep end. And it wasn't the first time the holiday drove Lois crazy, as she went on a rampage across town after everything went wrong in the season 3 episode, A Very Special Family Guy Freakin' Christmas. So Lois is trying to get everyone in the Christmas spirit.
Don we now our gay apparel.
Doesn't get much gayer than this.
But it's 2 days until Christmas and they still don't have a tree.
Peter, tomorrow's Christmas Eve and you still haven't gotten us a tree.
But that would require him to do things, which goes against the Christmas tradition of him not doing anything.
Well, if you get us a tree, I'll make sure Santa brings you a new VCR.
If you don't know what those are, just go ask your parents. I promise it's nothing dirty.
Here's your tree. Merry Christmas to all, and to all shut the hell up.
Wow, that took a full minute of your time. You're very brave for your sacrifice, Peter.
Just one more thing.
Lois?
I need you to take the presents out of the trunk.
So all that Christmas shopping is going to a family in need. You really are a saint, Peter. A very stupid saint who is now going to try to get those presents back.
You understand, all these gifts are supposed to be for my family. It was just some crazy mix-up.
Sorry, Peter, but we've got to abide by the ancient rule. No givesies backsies. Luckily, Lois can see the good in Peter's totally genuine act of kindness. So while the family's out shopping, Brian's on turkey duty, which is more life-threatening than you may have realized.
Damn it, Peter!
Luckily, he finds a real one and coats the entire living room. The fake snow is a late addition, but I like where your head's at. Don't know if I agree with where your head's at now, though. The Griffins return home after a failed shopping trip to find their house and dinner completely ruined, but Lois still manages to be the optimistic one.
Okay, so a couple of things have gone wrong, but we can still have a great Christmas.
We're out of paper towels.
No paper towels!
Okay, yeah, now's the time to freak out.
You think all this goodwill just falls from the freaking sky? Well, it doesn't! It falls out of my holly jolly butt!
Probably not the best place to get it from, what with the E. coli and everything.
You can all ride a one-horse open sleigh to hell!
So Lois decides to stomp around and hand out some season's beatings.
Merry Christmas.
Easy, lady. You want some of this?
But the gorilla brain kicks in when she notices a twinkling light in the distance.
Must kill Star.
When the family tracks her down, they find her really committing to cardio by climbing a tree. It may be Christmas, but it's not a cheat day.
Hi, Lois! Hey, do we look like ants down here?
Bite me!
That's right, Lois, that is what an ant does. This was the first Family Guy Christmas special, and it truly is a classic. It covers the spirit and stress of the holidays so well, and manages to be quite heartwarming despite the drool running down Lois's mouth. But the best Christmas episode is both haunting and heartwarming, as Brian and Stewie try to save Christmas after the holiday nearly killed Santa in the Season 9 episode Road to the North Pole. So the Griffins are fantasizing about the best part of Christmas, all the gifts they want.
Jessica Biel and Megan Fox wearing nothing but their socks is all I really want for Christmas this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't say most of these wishes are practical, but if you never wish it, it won't come true, right?
All these happy wishes and lots of Christmas cheer is all I really want this year.
Oh yeah, and if you throw in a little happiness to all, you look a little less like a materialistic glutton. Oh, and fun fact, this song was originally recorded all the way back in 2001 for a comedy album whose cover we'll probably have to censor. Anyway, Brian later takes Stewie to see Santa at the mall, but he dips right before it's their turn.
Buddy, we've been in line for like 2 hours.
Sorry, I'm done. You want your kid to sit on my lap? Meet me at the bar at Applebee's.
Who does that tubby slave master think he is? Stewie isn't gonna take this slight sitting down.
You're driving me. Let's go.
Driving you where?
To the North Pole to see Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty easy 4,000-mile drive. But Brian just takes him to a North Pole pop-up off the highway because most kids will just buy that.
Do you think I'm an idiot? Huh? Do you?
But Stewie isn't like most kids. But why does he have to speak to Santa in person? Just shoot him a letter, an email. Heck, maybe his MySpace is still up.
I'm going to kill Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's typically something you want to do in person. Mailing bombs is so 3 decades ago anyway. So if Brian isn't going to take him, he'll just have to get there the old-fashioned way.
Say yes to life, Brian! I'll be home for Christmas!
Doesn't he know how dangerous a baby riding with a random truck driver is? It's dangerous for the truck driver, I should clarify.
Oh, it's a flare gun.
Maybe you should put that back.
I'm just holding it. Is this the trigger?
So a bunch of cars crash, the truck explodes, and Brian totals his car. Holiday traffic jams, am I right?
What the hell happened? Just some stupid stuff went down.
Alright, time to shoot this trip in the leg and rip the band-aid off.
You're not gonna kill Santa Claus because he doesn't exist.
Really, Brian? If he doesn't exist, then why do all the presents say "From Santa" on them? Checkmate, atheist. So, unable to convince Stewie, the two take a snowmobile into the night, which runs out of gas and forces them to continue on foot. Would this be a bad time to tell them the geographic North Pole is located in the middle of the Arctic Ocean? But sure enough, they eventually come across a large, festive-looking gate.
We made it, Brian! The North Pole! See? Boom! Right there! I told you!
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. There's a very real chance you guys died in the snow and are now looking at the pearly gates. But when they step inside, it's looking a little less North Pole and a little more Detroit, Michigan.
This can't be it. This can't be Santa's workshop.
I don't know, the guy who answers the door sure does look like Santa. Or at least a Santa that was left out in the sun.
Oh my god! You're Santa Claus!
Yeah, between him and Jesus, you're really batting 0 for 2 here for things you didn't think existed. But don't get too used to him, because Stewie's still gonna kill him.
Do it! Please, put me out of my misery!
You want me to kill you?
Well, murder isn't as fun when they want it. So Santa explains how the higher demands of Christmas have forced him to turn his workshop into a factory.
We used to make wooden choo-choos and rag dolls. You ever try to make an iPod?
Yeah, it resulted in an accidental explosion that gave me a destroyed apartment and a cease and desist from Apple, but you don't want to hear about that. So from inbred elves to man-eating reindeer, the North Pole sure is looking like hell on Earth.
It's a horror show up here! How could you let this happen?
Me? I didn't do this! Christmas did!
This sparks a song that, look, I know it's about how the commercialization of Christmas is killing the original spirit behind the holiday, but dang, if this isn't one of the best songs the Family Guy's put out.
I'll tell you what, shove your list up your butt because Christmas time is killing us.
This song is such a banger that it makes Santa collapse. So, no encore?
If he goes out tonight, he'll die.
Well then, who's gonna deliver all the presents?
We will.
Yeah, it should be easy. It's only a few stops, right? So Stewie and Brian make their first crash landing, and after stumbling their way into the house, plans go immediately down the toilet.
What the hell did you do? He was gonna call the cops, man!
I mean, who calls the cops on Santa? The guy had it coming. So the visit spirals drastically, with Stewie and Brian having to tie up the entire family before they realize...
Oh my god, we're in the wrong house.
Oh, that's right. It was the house next door that wanted their dad concussed with a baseball bat. Obviously, this Santa stuff is way too hard.
We failed Santa.
No, we didn't fail Santa. The world failed Santa.
Then I guess whoever this world guy is isn't getting anything this year.
Lois, there's no presents under the tree!
Oh, so no one got any presents this year. To explain this, Brian wheels a barely breathing Santa onto national TV.
The workload of filling our Christmas lists has overwhelmed him. And at the rate he's going, he may not make it another year.
So it's either let Santa die or just ask for one gift a year. I mean, that's still like 8 billion gifts to handle, which means over 20 million gifts will need to be made a day? How about we just celebrate a second Thanksgiving instead?
One Christmas gift a year for each one of us. Can we live with that?
Well, by next year, it seems to have worked. The workshop is thriving, and people around the world are happy with their one gift. This episode is so dark, yet so hopeful, calling on the whole world to rein in the excessiveness of the holidays and focus more on their loved ones. This, coupled with 2 great musical numbers and a fun globe-trotting story, is why I believe that Road to the North Pole is the best Family Guy Christmas episode.